So, I hope you're all doing very, very well. I'm going to be coming at you with something a little bit different today. I'm going to be doing my Leeds United season review of our championship winning year. And I thought it was only fitting because the transfer news has died up just a little bit, and I don't want to be, I don't want to become repetitive and go over some of the same news over and over again for you guys. So instead, I thought it was high time that I provided you with my reaction for the season. Now, I would love some help from you guys on this. I'm going to be asking myself some questions, some key points that I think are important for the season. And I'd love you to jump down into the comments and tell me what your key points, your key moments for the season were, and I'll interact. I'll read a couple of them out for the next video and really see what you really thought about the season that we've just had. So, right at the start, did I think that Leeds were going to get promoted at the start of the season this year? Yes. That's the only answer I can give. I knew that this was going to be Bielsa's last year, if we weren't successful, and I couldn't bring myself to think what would happen if we lost Bielsa. We would have lost some of our star players. Phillips would have gone because Villa were lurking. He was close to leaving. Had Bielsa gone, we would have slipped out of a promotion chasing team, and we would have gone back down into the 13th, 14th, a mid-table also ran. And that was I couldn't bring myself to think about that. So I believed, yes, at the start of the season, this was our year. We were going up because I couldn't bear thinking about the alternative. But the dealings at the start of the year were so shrewd. We were so clever. We offloaded a lot, and there were some big names. Kemar Roof, our top goal scorer last year, we sold him off to Anderlecht for 7 mil. We sold Pontus Jansson to Brentford for 5 mil. What a good piece of business that was. And the real big one, Jack Clark to Spurs for 10 to 11 million. Well, we made some money. And in terms of bringing people in, the main person that we brought in was Costa. We didn't overhaul the squad. We kept the same core of players, which I think is so incredibly important. And just let Bielsa work his magic with them. So at the start of the year, this was our year. We were going to get promoted one way or the other. So for me, I'm going to go over now the key points throughout the whole season, looking at all the games that we played and highlighting moments where I thought, this is a key moment. This is a defining moment in our season. We started off amazingly. It was what we would have expected. Excellent wins against Bristol, Wigan, Brentford and Stoke, where we clearly showed that our class and quality was still there from last year. We were still the best team football-wise, playing football in the league. There was the slip-up against Swansea, where we had our first loss, the 1-0 smash and grab, and after which Swansea thought they'd won the league, and how that turned out for them. And then I remember the draw against Derby, the 1-1 draw, where we absolutely battered them, controlled the game, and Klich missed the penalty. He rolled it just wide, and then Derby again got a smash and grab, and that led on to a few shaky results. We lost against Charlton and Millwall, and only picked up draws against Preston and Sheffield Wednesday. And at this point, we were third. We were third in the table. Now, throughout the season, we weren't any lower than fourth. Fourth was our lowest position throughout the entire year, and that was actually after our second loss against Charlton. And then came our seven game winning streak. And it was from here that we were never out of the top two. From our 17th game, which was our win away at Luton, the 2-1, where Bamford scored and there was a little bit of shithousery going on. From that point on, we were never out of the top two positions, which it just kind of highlights how dominant we really were. I was there at the Reading game, the 1-0 win, where Harrison scored at the last minute and everyone went berserk. We had that belief. We had that, we were unstoppable. No one could stop us at this point. When we put Middlesbrough to the sword, Killick scoring an absolute curler in. The win against Huddersfield, Hull as well. We were looking fantastic, and at this point we had built a 13-point gap to the rest of the pack. Well, us and West Brom were at the top, 13 points going into December, and I thought it's looking comfortable. We are looking absolutely amazing. And then for me comes the first kind of milestone, defining moment of our season, and you all know what it is. It's the 3-3 draw against Cardiff. Now it's a difficult game for me to review because for 60 minutes we were fantastic. We played the phenomenal football and we were 3-0 up, and some of the best football that we've played under Bielsa. And I'm not sure how, but we capitulated and we let Cardiff back in. They brought it back to 3-2, and at this point we're in the 80th minute. And yeah, the nerves, you could feel the nervous tension all around the ground. And they got a man sent off. They're down to 10 men, and I thought, okay, let's just ride it out. Let's just keep calm, bring it home, 3-2. And they scored. Got the equaliser. And for me, a draw has never felt more like a loss in recent memory. Throughout the season, actually, any draw felt like a loss. It wasn't good enough. We weren't getting their 3 points. But this one, we were 3-0 up, and to throw that away against a 10-men Cardiff, to go 3-3, that was, for me, the start of what I'm going to call the Christmas collapse. Every year, and this isn't just localised to this year, Leeds, at Christmas time and New Year, we go through a blip in form and we just can't get these results through. At the start, we were 13 points clear. Now there were only two wins in the 2-month period from that Cardiff game all the way into mid-February, and those were actually cracking performances. The Birmingham City 4-5 game, which for me is the craziest game of the season. Let me know what was your craziest game. For me, it was the Birmingham game. Scoring our winner in literally the last minute of the game. 96th minute, I think. And the Millwall win, which was important for me because we went behind 2-0 in that game. And previously, when we'd gone behind, teams would just park the bus. It was very easy to figure out how to beat Leeds. Get the first goal and then put 10 men behind the ball. We struggled to break them down. The Millwall game, we showed that grit, that determination to bring it back and get that victory. That was a huge moment. But a loss to Fulham, draws against Preston and West Brom, and then 4 losses. A loss to Sheffield Wednesday, Queen's Park Rangers, Wigan, Forest. And the Forest game, I remember watching Luke Ayling's interview and how defeated he looked. He looked shattered. It was a mental block. You can't deny throughout the season that Leeds had the quality and the physical. We were physically the best footballing side in the league, but at that point, mentally, we had defeated ourselves. And I saw Ayling and Bill. He just looked defeated, and I worried. At that point, I worried that we weren't going to get over the line. And then my second defining moment of the season, the draw against Brentford, 1-1. Now, this was important for me because this was a game where the performance really changed, and we showed that we had the kind of grit, the heart, the desire to want to win a game. And we would have won it if it wasn't for Kiko doing his best clown impression in goal. But again, after the game, there was an interview with Luke Ayling, and it looked like the determination and the fight was back, and we were ready to go. We were ready to keep fighting. Huge moment for me. We didn't win that game. We should have, but we didn't lose it, and that was a big kind of turning point for me. Another 5-game winning run came straight after that, with some excellent performances where you could just tell that the belief was back. The team believed in themselves and their quality. Putting Hull to the sword. I remember the 4-0 demolition, although that wasn't hard. I mean, every team was demolishing Hull at that point. And the game against Huddersfield, which was my goal of the season, Ayling's volley, which smashed in off the crossbar for the opening goal at Huddersfield. For me, that was my goal of the season. Let me know what your goal of the season was. I'd love to find out. And then we had the pandemic. The pandemic in football was done for a little bit. We weren't sure if the season was going to come back, but it did. And here's a point I want to make. Guess which team had the best run of results from football coming back after the pandemic to the end of the season? It weren't Brentford. It was us. It was us. We only lost one game, and that was the start. The first one against Cardiff. I never want to play Cardiff ever again, man. And the draw against Luton. We won every single other game. Every single one. And this was so telling for me because it showed our pedigree, it showed our class as champions. West Brom, Brentford and Fulham staggered over the line. They crawled over the line. They did not have, the stamina and the quality to keep up with us. We were champions with 2 games left to play, and we battered we could have gone easy. We had, the Derby game. Half our team had a hangover. I'm not sure Klitsch knew where he was or if he could stand, but we put them to the sword. We beat them convincingly, and that just showed our class and how good we were, and why we deserved to be the champions this year. And while that, the winning run was fantastic, I'm going to tell you about my third and final defining moment of the season, and that was the 3-0 win against Fulham. So for me, football had just come back. We'd lost against Cardiff, and things were looking a little bit hairy, a little bit rough. And don't get it twisted, the Fulham game was a 6-pointer. Whoever won that, for me, was going to be automatically promoted because it put the other team out of the picture. And that game, Fulham were good. Fulham were good. They played the ball around, and they played us off the park possession-wise. But we were clinical. We took our chances. And after Alioski scored that second goal, I just took a huge, I breathed down and I thought, yes, we've done it. This is it. This is our time. This is our moment. And from then on, it was, Brentford went with us. They matched us win for win up until, close to the end. But I think he got to a point, I think it was a Swansea game, where Pablo scored that winner. And I thought, well, we're not going to be stopped. Well, we're not slowing up. Brentford are going to trip over. The pressure's on them, and we thoroughly deserved it. I'm just, the end of the table. We were first, from football coming back. We were top of the table all the way till the end, and we won it by 10 points. We conceded the fewest goals in the league, joint best goal difference, and we won 28 games. I would say one of the best seasons that Leeds have ever had, from kind of after being relegated. Sorry, and some of the reasons why it was the best season that we've had. The personnel that we brought in, getting Ben White in was a revelation. I didn't know who he was at the start, but was so integral to us getting promoted. And myself, and all the Leeds fans, we are always going to be grateful to Ben for what he's done for us, regardless of where he's playing next year. The transformation in Harrison's game. Costa came on leaps and bounds. Klick and Hernandez, fantastic. Phillips played brilliantly. Dallas being Mr. Versatile, playing everywhere. Every single one of those Leeds players stepped up and performed. But for me, my player of the season is Pablo, because to have that player who can create a little bit of magic out of nowhere, to be a match winner, score those goals against Swansea. Where would we be without him? Honourable mentions to Dallas, playing in every position that we've asked of him. Harrison and Alioski with willing to run all day, they're lungs of steel, absolute engines. Every single player has earned this promotion, and if you think that we're going to be involved in a relegation dogfight in the Premier League this year, I'm sorry, but you're deluded, my son. You're a deluded Don. There's no other word for it, because this team are going to pull off surprises and upsets, and I reckon we'll be solidly mid-table, maybe in the kind of 14th, 15th to 10th place. I firmly believe that. And we have a manager who, all the signs point to him signing, is one of the best in the Premier League. You know, he taught Guardiola. You know, let's take the Arsenal manager, Arteta, for example. Arteta was taught by Guardiola, who in turn was taught by Bielsa. Bielsa is your granddad in terms of teaching you what you know about football. I would say that maybe only Klopp rivals Bielsa in terms of how good a manager he is. So that's going to be my season review for Leeds this year. I'm sure there's things that I've missed out that I haven't said, but I've gone through kind of the main things. Yeah, I want to interact with you guys on this. Please let me know your player of the season. I want to know your goal of the season, and let me know your 3 pivotal points, the pivotal moments where for you the season changed or had an effect. I'm going to be coming back with some transfer news as soon as anything drops and we make a signing. I will be coming out with those videos, but honestly, it's getting sick and tiring now. I just want the new season to start. But that's going to be all from me for now. I hope you've enjoyed the season review. Please keep interacting. Like, comment, subscribe. We march on. Our channel is growing. Yeah, so fast. Let's keep this up. Let's keep it going. I hope that you're doing well. And as always, stay safe.